Hello and welcome back to another video. I am so excited and glad that you guys are here as per usual. We are starting this episode off right where we left the last one off, in front of our new 200 subscriber milestone carpet. Thank you guys again so much for being a part of this journey with us. I have something to show you guys, which is this massive house that we've been working on. Now, you might think that it is pretty big build, but I have something even crazier to show you over here in our small house and our starter base. And that is, if you come downstairs and take a look at all this spruce wood that I chopped for our house build, we actually barely made a dent in it. We have so much wood here that I think we actually have a bit of flexibility to continue to work on this house project and expand it to potentially an even larger size than this. So here we are in our third person camera, just taking a look at what we have to work with here. Now, for context, here is our little starter house and our iron farm that we built in previous episodes. And I just want to fly around and kind of take a look at some of the things that we have been working on. For scale, you can see kind of how large this house is. And it is, again, quite a large build, but I'm kind of thinking that there is a lot of room for expansion here, for future wings, towers, and yes, even more rooms, because why not? We have the wood and availability to do it. But one of the things that I want to do beforehand is start to kind of clean up this area. Now you can see there our wheat field is continuing to grow here, but I do want to terraform a bit of this land to prepare us for whatever this future build could be first. So for example, right over here, you can start to imagine what it would look like with a new wall stretched out here and a bit of a flattened land. Or maybe, for example, over here where we have these weird stony patches, you could start to imagine what it would look like with that all removed, something along those lines. Or maybe even this stone patch over by our front door would start to look a lot nicer if we removed all of that stone there. And I think that's the kind of idea of what we're going to go for in this area. There's a lot of stuff that could do with just a little bit of cleaning up, maybe expanding out this field and doing a bit more terraforming in this whole land so that we can get ready for our house build to be much larger. So let's do a little bit more of that before we get started here. Just another progress report here from the cam account. You can see we've started to level things out here because all the way over here, we are building a second level retaining wall. Now, it's not quite finished yet, but you can kind of see by putting this wall in, it allows us to flatten out things in our main wheat field up here and just kind of level that all out. And then we might even be able to build a second level or a beach or something like that as well. Probably this hill will come down a little bit, and this whole little peninsula kind of sticking out section over here will be able to be evened out as well. But for now, this is a great starting point to have a much more level ground, which is perfect for our wheat field purposes. Okay, I helped you with your house. Now I want you to come check out mine.
Yeah, for sure. Here, let me throw this in a... Yeah, so you're making another mansion?
I'm gonna make a mansion that's bigger than your mansion. That's my goal.
Dude.
So
bigger than the woodland mansion, huh?
You can just see it start to load in. Okay, Janus, wait, I want you to come check out, just like, because you can see the house there, and you see obviously it's large.
Insane.
But if you come and just take a look at my wood supply, like, you know I got all this wood, right?
Yeah.
Now just look in the chests.
Dude.
And keep going.
Dude.
Like, I've barely dented it. So we have we actually have so much room for expansion. So yeah, my thought is,
oh, did you update the did you update this?
No. So what I want to do is I want to update it all at the end, but I'm gonna like make it like
my house is there.
No, your house is always there. But look at like the bridge isn't there. And the nether portal, it was like right after I built the nether portal, I think, because the whole house isn't there, and the whole wheat field isn't there, and look, this village over here is still here. which I did that in like episode 2, I think.
Did you check out my furnace, by the way, already?
Oh no. Wait, I'll show you my house, then you show me your furnace room.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, now you know we have lots of wood left, but let's just take a quick tour of this place while we're in this kind of stage. Because we're just starting to block out. Oh, also, I'm expanding this.
Man, dude, you're going crazy.
It's gonna. I don't know if you can see way over there. There's another retaining wall. Oh, it's right at the edge of your render distance. I built a second wall.
It blows my mind because this is what it would be like if I only played Minecraft.
Oh, actually, let's go down this one first. So all these rooms, feel free to go in like any of them. Like these are bottom floor rooms.
What are you gonna do with all these rooms?
That's the whole different thing. And then here, I'll just show you a couple more floors because we're on floor, I think, technically 3, and there's 2 more above it.
Man, this is crazy.
Prisoners. And there's this floor,
crazy.
And then there's another.
I was
floor.
crazy once. Oh no way! It steps out right here.
I know. So every floor is like the ground level.
Dude, this is sick.
Oh, dang it. It's so much harder when you're running.
Yes. I'm really proud of the entrance to the place. I think it looks great.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to have furnace class, okay?
Man. No. Nice door, Janus. Oh man, that looks really good. Oh, I love the little mossy cobblestone or mossy stone bricks you've got here that you stole from my place. I like the stairs leading up to it. Why'd you put it off in the distance? Scratch that last one. Why? I like the lantern.
Why did you put it off in the distance? You fist bumped me. No. The fact that you only got half a heart in all of this, even after critting. It's awesome.
My pretty.
Sorry, I should start with this is awesome. This is super cool.
It looks great on the inside.
Yeah,
eh?
I do like it. You're using 4 times the amount of hoppers that you need.
I totally agree. I was actually thinking about this at work today.
Like all these hopper chains can just go into 1. And then all these chests here that you've got all like kind of all over the place, it's like way over engineered. It's like you're one of those people who just makes the thing 4 times as complicated as it needs to be.
Yes.
So rather than having all of the furnaces accessible, instead you have 1 chest for input, for fuel input, 1 chest for what you want smelted, and then 1 chest at the bottom for the output.
Interesting.
So, great start. Shall we make it epic and upgrade it?
You may. You shall.
You do that.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
Okay. So last night, while Janus was streaming, we finished up a good chunk of this wheat field over here, and you can see this thing is getting quite expansive. We built a little thing over in the middle where we could store some seeds and some wheat, but it's just so large when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. And we did clean up this down wall over here as well a little bit, so things look a little bit nicer with the proper cobblestone wall and the grass down below as well. Of course, there's always room for improvement and more work, but I think for now, this is actually a pretty good, solid starting point. So I think it's time to start working on our house. And you can actually see we've already got a bit of work underway here. So I don't know the direction of where I want to continue this, but before we do all the finishing details, I still want to get the main building blocks underway. So the first thing that I've done here is I have pulled up this ground level and made basically a mirror of this building over here. And if you come take a look from this side over here, you can kind of see what we're going for a little bit with this house mirroring that house. Now, obviously, all this terrain over here still needs that terraforming that we were talking about. It's quite messy and sporadic and all over the place. And this terrain isn't the smoothed out terrain like we like and that we prepared over here with all of the wheat field. This isn't necessarily ideal for building houses, but I think what we can do is if we connect these two buildings via a little, I don't know, hallway or deck or something like that, we can start to have this similar shape over here, but then come down to expand the house over into this hilly area. Popping over into our cam account here, we can see kind of what things look like from a little bit more of a bird's eye view. Now you can see, yes, we just got a big blocked out shape here where this building will eventually go, but you kind of start to get the scale of what things are looking like here. And I don't know if you can tell the gradient of this terrain over here, how it slowly and progressively just kind of moves down this hill in a very nice way towards our iron farm. That's the kind of terraforming that I want our finished product to look like. But when we start to come over here, and as the wheat field kind of fades off, you can see what the naturally generated terrain is currently looking like. Very messy, very sporadic, and all over the place. But if this is kind of cleaned up a little bit, I think this house can expand to, I don't know, maybe double or triple its current space, and be quite large. And again, not because we actually need all that space, but who really needs any of the space that they use in a mega base anyway? I think the idea is more that we are just able to build and continue to work on the project in a way that's fun and exciting. So what that actually looks like practically, for some next steps, is I would like to put a roof over on this section as well, put in a floor and some walls, and really kind of start to just play out with the layout of where this could go. Maybe we could do some decks, some towers. I think that'd be cool. And even start to expand this thing down into the underground. Now, this is really interesting, but I recently watched a video about this video game called Pools. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen these kinds of games, but this game is all about liminal spaces. Now, it's kind of interesting because liminal spaces, I don't know much about them, but they go on and on and on. And I'm kind of starting to get the vibe that this house, it could turn into something like that. Maybe it is actually, there's something more that lies under the surface than you think at first glance. Like it seems like a normal house, and then all of a sudden it just keeps going and disappears into who knows what. And I think that could be a really cool idea of where to take the direction of this house as we continue to expand and see what it's going to look like in the future. But for now, I think it's just best that we continue building the house as per usual, and maybe we can get there one day. Back in the cam account here, I've been enjoying these angles a little bit too much, so we're just going to stick with this for now. You can see we've put on the roof on the second building over here, and we've started to level out this ground and get more of that gradient shape that I like. Now, you might not be able to tell all that much, the difference from before, but this whole ground here is a lot less bumpy, a lot less single kind of random point sticking out, and a lot more smoothed out, at least in this section where we'll be continuing work on building our house. So I think the best next step is to continue the framework to see where do we want this building to go next. But for now, that is a pretty good progress update. So we have a bit of another progress update. You can kind of see through the window there. Yeah, this house is just continuing to grow and grow and grow. So basically what I've done is I've created another one of that smaller side building and extended it out. And there's multiple floors. I'll just come down in the corner over here. And you can see each floor progressively gets smaller and smaller. And that's because of the gradient of the hill. So if I just pop outside here and just cover that back up, we can go and take a step back over here and kind of take a look at what our progress looks like at this point in time. Da 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 da. Yeah, the house is growing and growing, and it is not getting any smaller anytime soon. But this is exciting because I'm still not quite sure the direction of what I want to do, but I think that's the fun. Like we were talking about in the last episode, the brush strokes of figuring out, okay, what are the main things that we want? And then we'll just add to it, and then we'll go in and add the details and all the little jut outs. And so, for example, this whole wall over here, that has all those like minimal details, the windows and all that sort of stuff, all the details not being filled in is actually really handy, because if we want to extend this building out, just like we extended this one over here, it means that there's still a lot of room and we don't have to rework all that stuff. And so I haven't even put in all the details of the walls or anything like that. If we just go over here, you can kind of see between the two buildings here what our shape is actually starting to come out to be. So for example, coming into this building over here, there is no walls. And there is a whole upper floor here that we can still fit and put in all these walls down the line, but I'm not sure I want to even keep this shape at all. And so this gives us the freedom and flexibility to continue to build out the rest of the house. So for example, there could be a lower floor here that comes out into the roof half of this building, but maybe we want another extension to come out over this way, or like a big tower to be right in the middle, or this to go out that way. And so I'm gonna avoid putting in all the individual rooms and breaking up the spaces until we have more of the big chunks blocked out like this. Now the crazy part about all of this is if we go over to our storage system in our little house, downstairs here, you can see just how much of a dent we've made. So we used up all the spruce in here, but we still have a ton of spruce logs left and available for us to continue the expansion of this house. Now I did use a bunch of our dirt already. This whole chest was full of dirt, and this whole chest for the terraforming, but our cobblestone is taking up a lot as well. So the roofing cobblestone might be a bit of an issue, but the wood definitely isn't. But for now, as far as this expansion goes, I think things are looking really good, and I like the direction that this is going. Again, I don't know what's to come next, but I think we just fill in this roof and continue the building project to see what kind of things start to come out of this. And another progress update here. If I turn around in 3, 2, 1, ta-da! You can see the house is even further along now. And even just filling in the roof here and adding this tower right in the middle that connects these two side buildings, all of a sudden you can see this is going to be a massive building. If we just go over between the two houses here, you can see we haven't actually fully finished connecting these buildings together yet, but we have an idea of what this could look like in the future. So this tower comes right down in the middle in a way that will be able to tie this building over to this building really seamlessly, but I don't just want it to be just at this tower. I actually want this whole section to be an inside section as well. So I'm thinking we'll probably have a front door somewhere around this place, punch out these walls on the side, and make this one big open space. Now, of course, with our staircase right here, if we remove this wall, that might make things a little bit weird and awkward. So we'll still have to play around with what this looks like a little bit, but then we can tie together a roof over top of here that comes all the way down to somewhere around here, or something along those lines. But even just putting this tower in the middle does make a big difference as far as what we are looking at. Inside, you can see, yes, this roof is fully finished, and we have a floor in this space as well. And coming down below, this brings us right back over to this other area where we were. Now, all of these areas are kind of separated, and they will be seamless once we get all the main building blocks in. But just putting in one little tower like this already starts to make a huge difference. And I think that is actually going to be super awesome. Now, what are we going to do in this big front middle section here with all this different roof action going on? I'm not too sure yet, but I am excited to see where this could go. And like I said, this thing is not getting any smaller anytime soon. So here's an outline for a much larger structure that'll plop right in the middle here. And you can kind of see the roof sticking through the wall over there, where the wall will meet the roof and continue to go up. Now, this creates a much larger space to work from, and we'll be able to continue to extend it out this way, maybe put some garage doors over in here and a street around the back. Something along those lines is kind of what I'm thinking at this point in time, but I'm not too sure either if this is the exact design of what we want to go to. You can also see we finished putting a roof on the tower there, and that seems very small to me, but this outline is a good starting place to see where we will go next. So let's just continue working on this. I just wanted to give you guys a little progress update for now. And we have now filled in these walls, which this looks kind of crazy, but take a look from the outside over here. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't look great, and honestly, it's It's a regrettable decision to leave it in a place like this, but actually, we are running out of time in this episode, and sadly, I can't fix this. Now, it looks kind of awful, and I know that it just looks like a massive building, and it looks like this is going to just go downhill from here, but you have to trust the process. Remember, I was talking about those main building blocks and those big structures with the side structures coming off of this. Now, I know with everything filled in, you're just looking at a massive wall, but of course, the finished product doesn't actually want to be a massive wall. Remember how much of a difference adding those windows made over there? If we start to put the jet outs that we had talked about and the things like that garage door or whatever ends up being on this side of the building, I really do think that this would be a great center point in the whole size of this building. Now, taking a look from a third person, much wider perspective here, you can see in the whole building scale of things, this actually does kind of start to make sense. Now, obviously the roof isn't filled in, but this makes sense that the building would get bigger as it goes further back. It just also needs to get smaller if this was more of a central point. See, because now we could extend even this front section out onto this roof, add other areas and more rooms as well as fill in these frontal sections and make this whole one giant piece. Now, if this is the center of the house, it's more of a center piece that kind of builds up in a larger direction and then gets smaller and smaller as it goes out towards the edges. Now, of course, from this one angle, things do not look all that attractive at the moment, but I really do think that once we get going, things could be much better. And again, this is perfect because if we are talking about making liminal spaces, having something like 20 floors here, I think will make it really easy to make almost a maze-esque kind of house. Now, imagine that it goes further out that way to all the sides as well. This thing will just go and go and go. And of course, we can always dig deeper to make the floors go underground as well. And it's kind of hard to imagine or even fathom what this could look like being fully furnished. Now, I've made some mansions before and I've made a lot of stuff in creative, but I've never tried to make this much just actual sheer amount of rooms and floors and stairs, and I'm really excited to see what this finished product is going to look like. But again, the furnishing will be another process. Now, I want there to be, of course, lots of windows and natural light where we can around the edges, but realistically, that's going to be really hard to pull off in the middle space, which I think will actually, in the end, tie towards our liminal space even better. But for now, I know it's crazy to leave it like this, but that does in fact have to be the end of the episode. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. It has been fantastic getting to create, and I can't wait to get on to the next one as well. So stick with me because this was going to be a crazy project and we are just getting started. We'll see you in the next one.